Episode 8 of the Enduring Gifts of Marvin Gaye podcast is titled Flying High in the Friendly Sky from the 1971 What's Going On album. It's Marvin Gaye's truth, and we're not judging. I was 13 when I first tried to listen to the album What's Going On, and I honestly got stuck and hung up and kind of just couldn't go any further once I, in sequence, got to the third song on the album, Flying High in the Friendly Sky. My musical sophistication level at that point in time was that of New Kids on the Block. I was a hardcore fan, and that was where I was coming from musical intake-wise. So when I did like a very big girl move trying to pull out the What's Going On classic album and just dive deep, I couldn't get past just visualizing a plane in the sky because I was so hung up on the very similar United Airlines tagline, Fly in the Friendly Skies, and I just really needed to understand that the two were not intended to be confused or connected. So for me, that was my roadblock, and unfortunately, the album went back on the shelf, and I needed to wait about a year or so before I could revisit it. But when I fast forward to nowadays, recently, and just based on my previous episode 7, just kind of going through that whole history of Marvin's time, just kind of being in musical recording heaven in the time that he shared with Tammy Terrell, and the unexpected loss of her, it really changed his life. And it goes back to some context that I came across that made me need to record episode 7 just kind of right then and there, because I came across this play that had been made about Marvin Gaye's life, and it was being performed at that time in Detroit. I think it was kind of opening there, and the actors were being interviewed, and they just threw out this one little line and kind of kept it moving, but it was just, I was like, oh my gosh. They made the statement that Marvin Gaye was one person when Tammy Terrell was in his life, and he was another person after she passed away. And when I was watching the Tammy Terrell biography, Unsung, the people in Tammy's life, her relatives and people that just, knew the two of them and attended the funeral and just saw the shape that Marvin was in at the funeral, it was unavoidable that her death had domino effects in his life. To where we get to What's Going On, which is technically the first album that Marvin releases after her death in 1970. And namely, right, the effect and kind of what's going on with Marvin's life, the frame of Marvin's life, the frame of Marvin's mind, right at the time that he's getting back into his creative space, is the message that he's sharing in this song. So in my opinion, this song is just a very vulnerable, personal, unfiltered gift of Marvin Gaye, speaking his truth about his struggles that he is showing us without denial, avoidance, or excuse. I push back on the kind of general consensus, the widely written little essay in liner notes or, just articles about this album, that this song is supposed to be from the perspective of a fictional returning soldier from war speaking about using heroin. It's like, there is something so personally being expressed by Marvin Gaye through his delivery of this song that I can't see it from that just fictionalized, nothing personal, nothing real perspective anymore. Like I'm rejecting that. I've just gotten this new information and understanding of just really where Marvin was at this time, which was kind of the dawning of a new stage of negativity. And it would be how he would have perceived it, that was going to remain a struggle for the rest of his life. So he was keeping it 100, and in doing so, he's shedding this very pure light on a topic that clearly he would like to encourage anyone that's listening to not share with him. Marvin's do as I say, not as I do philosophy is made clear again in the lyrics of his future 1981 song, Life is for Learning, from the In Our Lifetime album. He sings the line, "The artist pays the price, so you don't have to pay. If only we would listen to what they have to say." Marvin was trying to not disappoint us, I definitely think, but he was living through challenges and ordeals and he did not want to lose track for his audience of the right message that he was always trying to encourage us in. So that's why I just say I accept this as Marvin's truth, and there is no judgment connected with it. Please check out this full episode at anchor.fm/Marvin Gaye -enduring -gifts. You can also check out a very rare live version of this song from it's like an unreleased take from the 1974 live concert that he recorded. And there is also a version of this song which is coming soon. Actually, I believe it's being released on October 18th. Motown is re-releasing the one and only complete concert delivery that Marvin Gaye gave of the album What's Going On in 1972 at the Kennedy Center for the conclusion of Marvin Gaye Day. It is going to be remastered, so the sound quality should be impeccable, and there's going to be new rare photos, and I'll leave it at that. There's some other information that I'm not looking forward to, that if you've paid attention to other episodes of this podcast, you will know what I'm not looking forward to as far as write-ups associated with it. But I definitely will be purchasing it for, just being able to see these new photos. And they answered the question about how come Mercy Mercy Me is not included on the version of this album that we already have access to. They explained that they lost time. And this was the media back at the time. They were recording this on reel tape. The reels of tape that go around in a circle, and they're recording on a little recording machine like that. The tape ran out and they had to switch to a new reel of tape. And while they were having to do that, Marvin was in the middle of singing Mercy Mercy Me during the concert. So that is the reason why we don't have that song on the disc of the concert that's already available. And I pointed that out before. I was like, it's not on this album, but I'm not convinced that means he didn't sing it. So it just doesn't exist. I was checking for that when they were saying this re-release was coming through. I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to have that song? And the song wasn't recorded. It just physically was not recorded. So, but definitely check it out, check for it. Check out the YouTube channel, Marvin Gaye's Enduring Gifts. Check out our Pinterest page for thousands of beautiful, rare images of Marvin and the two movies that he starred in. Actually, Chrome and Hot Leather, he made before he was finished wrapping up What's Going On. He was right towards the end of wrapping up What's Going On, and he had to jet out to LA to start filming that movie. So yeah, check out all of the different platforms that we're on, and please subscribe and give likes if you are enjoying the material. Alrighty, bye-bye.